Mary, I'm going to read your bio. You can come grab a seat here, and let's get your microphone all adjusted. We'll get set up.
Right.
We got a while together, so yeah, bring your notes. Now these are all adjustable here. Your chair is close to the edge. Yeah, there you go.
You don't want to go off the edge.
I want to go off the edge. I'm going to check your levels here. All right. I'm sounding good on my end.
How's that?
A little bit closer.
Is that good?
That's good. That's
Okay.
good. Now, guys, can you hear us out there? We're good? Okay. We only have one speaker working for us, so it's going to blast out the people in the front row.
Yep.
Perfect. And just a little bit closer with that microphone for me.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Perfect. There we go. All right. All right. Mary has been a local paranormal investigator and case manager for Team O.P.P.S, O.P.P.S, for the last 11 years. She's an avid instrumental transcommunication researcher and practitioner, specializing in the ghost box, direct voice radio communication. From a young age, Mary has had a prophetic dreams and also has seen and heard spirits. She is also an afterlife researcher, hoping to teach and help everyone realize that life goes on after death, as we witnessed here.
Yep.
She is actively involved with the Spirit Contact Team of North America Station and was trained by Rochelle Wright, and with a lot of acronyms attached to your name,
Yes.
and repair attachment, grief therapy. And are you a nurse as well?
I was a nurse. I'm a PA now.
Yeah. Okay. And she's been in medical practitioner for the last 43 years. Whoa. Nice. I was a corpsman for 6 years up at one of the islands here, Whidbey Island. She lives in Bremerton, Washington, with her 2 sisters, 3 dogs, and 2 parakeets and various fish. Welcome to Strange Brow Radio.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. This took a little bit of...
Thanks for asking me.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little bit closer with that, just so it's kind of right up against your mouth.
Okay, how's that?
There we go.
Better? Okay.
What we want to do is make sure that we get your audio and not their audio.
Okay, got it.
Perfect. Okay, so we had some action here earlier, and you said that you'd never seen anything. I mean, I just want to go straight to what happened in the bar here to explain to people that weren't here, that are listening. There is a
SLS camera. Yeah.
SLS camera, and explain what that is.
Well, I don't have a lot of experience, honestly, with the SLS camera, but I know that the way it works is through the Kinect box. And so the idea is it actually will, if it sees something like we saw this, whatever this was, it actually puts points on the entity or whatever it is. So, I mean, like I said, we've used it before, but ours is on a laptop. Our team uses ours on a laptop, and but I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah. So I
never have.
We have the front row here that has all of the ghost gadgets, and we have the bumper music playing. It was Martin Denny bachelor pad music, right? Circa like 1965, and pointed right at the table here, and there was the striking image of something dancing on the speaker, and it looked, what was encouraging about it was doing it to the rhythm. It was actually corresponding with its feet and its hands. Mm-hmm. And then I came up and gave it an embrace. Right. And it seemed to want to kind of dance with me.
Yeah, it did. It was on your hand, and then it was on your head.
Somebody wants to dance with me. Finally, I can't get the young woman in the back here to ever dance with me. So it looks like it's up to Mabel over here in the corner.
Interesting because there was a part where it really looked like it was playing maracas. And it was actually in rhythm with the music, which was pretty amazing. So, yeah.
Okay. So 43 years of working in the medical field. Mm-hmm. How long have you been looking? I mean, you were born with the ability to know other things.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, from a young age, I heard and saw spirits. I being so young, it was just like, oh, well, hey, Mom, when you see that guy standing in the corner there, and it would be like, I come from was raised in a Puerto Rican Catholic family, so it was like, don't say that, don't say that.
Okay.
Don't even talk about it. And I would have these dreams, like I dreamt about my grandmother quite a bit, and we were going up to visit her because she was very ill. Mm-hmm. And I remember getting up and walking up, going into the kitchen where my parents were, and I said, well, we don't have to hurry now because Grandma's dead. And right at that same moment, the phone rings, and they pick up the phone, and it was the message that she had just died. So.
Ay, caramba.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I've had other experiences with prophetic dreams. I had a dream where I had lost my dog, and searching all over for him. We lived in New Hampshire at the time, and I was having this dream that he was dropped off at the end of this long road.
Right.
And so I remember jumping out of bed and running to the door and flinging open the door. And I did that. I woke up from the dream and ran to the door and opened it, and my dog was there.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I've had a lot of those type of dreams. Some of them aren't so great. Things will come to me, like I call it a knowing, where you just know something. And this one was pretty unfortunate, but my husband had just lost his dog and was pretty distraught. And I was watching him crying, and this thing came to me. It said, your husband will be dead before the end of December, and he died the following November.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's been that kind of stuff. My whole life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know a little bit about this area in particular. Like, you've done active research right here in town.
We've done some investigation at Manresa. We've been here a couple times. Yeah.
In fact, I met you when we did our big Halloween fiasco here back October. In fact, anybody listening, if you don't know what's going on at Manresa, just to divert, show up here, look at the Castle MPT Facebook page. They put on a pretty killer Halloween party here,
did,
which I didn't see you show up at the masquerade.
I had to go to somewhere else.
Yeah, I know. It's a big party here, and so I think we'll do it again.
Well, next year, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what are the misnomers as far as paranormal research? Let's get the record set straight here, because so much of what people are familiar with, unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, because I watch a lot of it too on TV, but it's a lot of, things that we're trying to constantly bring out the worst of a ghost. And maybe, by what we saw earlier here, there's a lot of friendly stuff here. Maybe Casper actually exists. So let's set the record straight here.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you do that.
Well, first of all, I would say don't believe pretty much anything you see on these paranormal shows, because they're out for the numbers. They're out for the viewers. They have to make it interesting. So frequently you're going to hear, oh, this is a demon, or this is an evil entity, or they make it look like you're going to get evidence every time you go somewhere, every time you do something, and that's not how it works. You're going to spend a lot of hours sitting in a dark room, bored out of your mind, until something comes along, until something happens. But those are the biggest misnomers, because people will go out and they have these expectations as to how it's supposed to be, but it's not like that at all.
Okay, so you mentioned that when people go to houses, let's just take Ghost Adventures for example. Everyone watches Ghost Adventures on Travel Channel, familiar with them going inside and trying to aggravate a spirit in there. There seems to be something to the fact that people have these attachments where phenomena follows them from house to house.
Yeah, that does happen. Yeah.
Is that rare?
I think it's rare. I mean, in my experience, I've only seen that once in 11 years. We had and it was actually, what's interesting, it was attached to the piece of furniture.
Okay.
And it wasn't actually attached to the person. But that's been my experience, where these folks had some activity in their bedroom, and they kept hearing all this noise around their dresser.
Okay.
And we ended up finding out that the dresser had belonged to an old man who used to keep his wallet in this one drawer where all the activity was around. And they had bought it in a secondhand shop, so we had to kind of dig back and find out the history on that. But and we've had clients that I have talked to that feel like they're being followed by a spirit. But most of them have felt that it was negative. And the bit of research and case management I've done, my experience has been usually it's not. So.
You call them clients. How many clients do you have?
It just depends. We have a helpline and people will call us.
A literal helpline?
Yeah.
Okay.
And don't ask me the number, because I don't know. It's terrible.
Wait, so you go home and you check your voicemail, and there's somebody...
People
give me an example of a call.
Well, I'll get a call and say, basically they'll say I'm having this activity in my home. I feel like, I have, for instance, this one lady in Shelton, she called and said, I've been choked and slapped and scratched, and my dog's been attacked, and that type of stuff. And so what I usually will do is I go out and interview them. So we have this whole process. We always go to a public place. We have this process that we do. We have a whole interview, I think it's what, 3 or 4 pages, something like that we use and we'll kind of do a pretty in-depth interview about what it is, the experience. We also look into their, mental health history, drugs, alcohol.
Okay, let's go there then, real quick, just to focus in on that, because interviewing people about their mental health, how do you delicately work that into the fabric of, I believe you, I want to help you, but it could be the Prozac, baby.
Yeah.
So
what I usually tell people up front, I will say, I have an interview form. I'm going to ask you a lot of different questions. I'm going to ask you about, the history of the house, your medical history, if you take any medications, that type of thing. So I kind of prepare them ahead of time. So when I get to the part, a lot of times I'll say, okay, this part might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. But I appreciate whatever answers you can give me about this particular, mental health issue.
And then you move on into the point where, let's say you believe them. You move on to the next level. So what happens there?
Well, what we normally do is we'll either sit down or talk through the forum about, well, is this a case that we think we can help them with? Because we'll find out what's the haunting, or what kind of activity is going on. So we do that first. And if we feel like, yes, we can help these people, then we'll proceed to set up an investigation. And a lot of times we can't. Like this one particular lady, I had to refer her. I mean, this activity was pretty intense, and we normally don't deal with those type of investigations. So I actually referred her to a group back east that actually does that type of negative entity work.
Yeah. And you're not
So,
saying the word evil.
no.
No, it's not in your vocabulary.
No.
No. Okay.
I really believe that when people die, they take their personality with them. So if they were evil before, more than likely they're going to be evil after.
So, but you get a negative case, right? You will not work it at all.
Not necessarily. It just depends on the case. I mean, I felt after we talked with the team, we all talked. We felt like this was something that maybe was beyond what we could deal with.
Okay.
Meaning, basically, this group back east was a sanctioned demonic team through the Catholic Church. Basically, they did exorcism. They worked with the demonic side of things. Now, it's tough because I don't believe in demons. But like you said, I believe in negative spirits that can cause problems, and so we just felt like, no, there's not much we can do, because we always ask the client, what is your expectation? What would you like to get out of this? Do you want the spirit to stay? Do you want them to go? Do you want to, do you just want to know who it is, so you can, and how to live with them? Some people will do that. So.
And they most likely always want them to go, don't they?
Not all the time.
Really?
Yeah, some people just want to know that they're not negative, because it's scary. People, they're reaching out because it's so unknown to them.
Right.
They're looking for answers. Is this going to hurt me or hurt my family, or is this going to cause any type of problems in my home, like in my daily life, that type of thing?
Oh, yeah. What about the constant disruption of having a ghost that genuinely seems to want to play tricks? I mean, how do you talk someone into, well, you can't really talk them into wanting it, but for them to decide that that's something that they want, even if it's a loved one?
Yeah. It's interesting, because sometimes there'll be split in the family. Some say, yeah, well, we just want to know if it's Uncle Joe, know, and other people say, well, we want him to go, But we leave that up to the client. We say, look, this is what we have. This is the evidence that we have. These are some of our recommendations.
Right.
Yeah, so I usually it's worked out pretty well. There's only been, like I said, very few times where we couldn't help the client.
And you help them mainly locally?
Yeah, locally. We'll go to Tacoma, Seattle, we'll go north.
Right.
If we get calls, we'll go.
Yeah, and you guys are all kind of locally funded.
We're all local.
charge?
No, we don't. We do
Okay.
not charge. No, we're all from the area, like Burlington, Silverdale,
Hmm.
Port Orchard, that type of thing.
So you're near the Naval Shipyard.
Yep. Hmm.
How haunted is the Naval Shipyard?
You know, I don't know, but I can tell you that the USS Turner Joy, which is a floating Vietnam era
Hmm.
ship, it's a
Right.
museum now, is haunted. We've investigated there. I think I've investigated there at least 3 times, but it's definitely haunted. It's got a lot of activity.
Yeah, but nobody on the shipyard has asked for assistance.
No, I've talked to a couple shipyard workers through my work,
Hmm.
because they know what I do on the side, and it's almost impossible to get in there because of the security. You know, you can't get in there. But.
When you get a call from someone that wants help, is it more often a guy calling or a woman?
A woman.
It is.
Most of my experience has been women.
And why do you think that is?
Because I think women are the caretakers.
Mm-hmm.
They want to find a solution. I've often heard from women, "Oh, my husband or my boyfriend thinks it's a bunch of bunk, that it's noise in the attic or noise in the, whatever.
Yeah.
Or noise in the basement or, things expanding in the house." And that's been a lot of my experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, and sometimes it is. I mean, we've gone in places where, no, this is not paranormal. This is just, your gas heater making noise or whatever.
Right,
so,
right.
Or an animal in the attic or something,
Yeah.
So.
Amazing.
Yeah, but most of the time we will find some type of activity. And like I said, I don't ever remember a case that we took that was like, really, really negative. So.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so tell me about the last case that you worked as a team, because this is your team.
Yeah, we got
or is this part of your team?
It's part of the team.
Okay.
A bunch of people are off, and we have some ex-team members here. But once you're on the team, you kind of never get off the team.
Oh, like the core.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Well, the last case we had, what was it? That was Gig Harbor. Yeah, it was in Gig Harbor, and it was a mom who called and was really concerned because there was the children, of course, it involved children. We always are on a high alert when we hear children.
Right.
Where the children were seeing spirits, scaring them. The little kids were talking about spirits that were scaring them, appearing, shadows. What else, Brian? I can't remember. Scratches. Yeah, that's right. Scratches were one of them. And the dog had been acting really strange.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we did get a fair amount of EVPs and ghost box stuff from there. And we actually had one of our team members who's a psychic on our team. We went out and were able to find out who this person was, and we were able to pass them over.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you go back and you kind of try to figure out if it's a
will.
neighbor that shot himself, kind of deal?
Right. Yeah,
okay.
we do historical research. Mm-hmm. We don't have a historical researcher right now because Brian's our team leader now. And but we try to do historical research on, look at the background of the property, see what's significant and what isn't.
Right.
Yeah, and and a lot of times we'll present, once we go through all our evidence, we'll pick the best evidence that we have, and we'll burn a disc and write up a report and go and present it to the client after we're done, and kind of talk through it and tell them what we think we found. Like I said, some people don't want to do anything, but other people do. And this one lady wanted whatever was there to be gone, so that's why McKenna and I went over, and she did most of it. She did all of it, actually to get him to cross over.
Right.
And we got good feedback that the house, everything was quiet.
So when children are involved in this, let's say 10 years and older, they're clued in to what their parents are feeling. I mean, I certainly was.
Yeah.
So do you bring them? You recommend that they are transparent with the process as far as what is actually going on, or how do you do that? How do you deal with
kids?
The family as a unit, and then separating maybe the kids from the conversation?
Yeah, well, I'll actually ask the parents. I said, what are you comfortable with? Do you want the kids to be here while we talk about this? Do you want them here while we do the investigation? And most of the time, the parents are okay with the interview, but don't want them around for the investigation, which I think that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the easiest way to do it.
But the kids are like little broadband
Oh,
frequency
absolutely. Oh, yeah.
gauges,
They
so
pick up everything.
it's almost like, oh, I wish we could have them.
Yeah.
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 Has that ever happened where a child is actually involved in the investigation actively with you?
We've had that, yeah.
Yeah.
But most of them have been older,
Uh-huh.
not little ones, but
No.
mostly older.
So no Carol Ann types.
No, God,
okay.
no.
Nothing like that.
No Carol Ann, no. But we've had older kids, like
Yeah.
teens, maybe they'll stay in the house. But most of the time, it seems like, did the gig harbor kids stick around?
Yeah.
They did stick around. And these kids were what? They were toddlers, yeah. So
Okay.
one was about 4, I think. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And one of them was saying, "Well, I see the man in the door." I didn't see anything, but
Yeah.
But once they got to bed, they put them down and they went in the room with the kids and slept with the kids through the night. So we investigated the rest of the house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scratches. I want to know about that part of the conversation. You mentioned that one of the cases there were scratches.
Mm-hmm.
How often, when you work a case, is there a physical implication or a scratch or a bruise or something like that? Is that fairly common, or is it rare?
I think it's rare. I really do. I mean, we've had a lot of cases through the last 11 years, and I would say maybe 3 where there was actual scratches. People taking pictures and stuff.
Only 3?
Yeah, that I
Really?
can remember. Yeah, at this point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think it's that common. I really don't.
Okay. And you've never been scratched?
Nope, never. I've been pushed.
Anybody on your team ever been physically harmed or scratched?
McKenna's been scratched, but not on an investigation. She was at, it was a...
McKenna, where are you at?
There she is.
Okay, back
It
there.
was at a antique shop in Port Townsend.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Antique shop.
Mm-hmm. But I've been pushed and I've been touched and my hair's been pulled and that type of thing. So.
Are antique shops something that you should smudge after going into? I mean, antique shops have a lot of objects that may have attachments. So
oh, yeah.
you recommend people take precautions when taking something home from a antique shop?
I always tell them to make sure, especially like that one lady, that one case we had, make sure that you cleanse, do a saging or do an intention saying, whatever attachments can't come home with us, that type of thing. Because that can happen. I've seen it. Like I said, I've seen it. We had that case where that happened. So.
Is it okay, let's talk about the cleansing process.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of different ways to do it.
Right.
You can go get a crucifix, holy water, whatever, sage. Are you of the mind that it has something to do with the properties of what you're using to cleanse, or is it because of the intention? How does that work?
I think it's both. I do, because, intentions are pretty powerful. There's a lot of energy that goes behind intentions. And the sage has the quality anyway of clearing the air. It's used for a lot of different things, and that's one of the things that it's used for. So.
Yeah, in fact, I wish I had access to my computer there. If anybody is on there, in fact, I'll just use you guys as my human Google.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, sage has all these weird properties to it where it's known to kill bacteria, I think.
It's antibacterial and antiviral. I actually used to have my patients gargle with it.
Really?
Yeah, make a tea out of it and gargle for bad sore throat, strep throat. It works.
I'll be darned. Okay, you heard it here first.
Yeah, it works. It works.
Gargle with sage.
Yeah.
Bartender, get me a sage. Whatever. Yeah, come up with
shot of sage.
Shot of sage.
Shot of sage.
All right.
So.
Okay, interesting. All right, so is that something that you would do after you leave a place like this? Would you sage, since we kind of feel that this place is haunted, do you feel like this castle's haunted?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Would you sage after you left here?
What I do is before I go into any investigation or any place like this, I will do like a protection visualization where everybody does it differently, but I do like a white light, like a protection white light, and then I have certain phrases that I'll say that are personal to me. Some people will do the Lord's Prayer, some people will do whatever. But that's what I usually do. It's pretty rare that I sage. I don't think anybody in our team has, really. But that's how I do it. I have the intention before I go and I do the visualization for protection. And I really can only think of 2 times where something followed me home, and both were from Walker Ames at Port Gamble. So.
Okay.
Which is.
And I hear a lot about this place, Walker Ames. Describe Port Gamble and Walker Ames?
Well, Port Gamble it was based on a town from Maine, a logging town. So it has that Maine quaintness to it. And the whole place is haunted. I mean, there are spirits well, you know, you've been there, Darren, you know. The whole town has ghosts in almost every building. The Walker Ames was the original house for the supervisors.
Right.
And there's quite a few entities in there. I think some of them come and go. I think some of them are some of the owners, you know, Mrs. Walker, Mrs. Ames, you know, the Walker family that lived there, Walker Ames family that lived there. And there's a lot of kids up in the attic, too.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of kids. It's really cool because I used to take my dog, was part of our team, and she's unfortunately passed away, but every time we would take her there, we would get some of the best ghost box and EVP stuff because of her, because they really were interested in her. So it's a great place. It's not negative. You don't have to worry when you go in there, you know, something going to get you. It's not like that at all. It's fabulous. I would recommend it.
Now, is there a place near there, though? I heard this from psychic William Becker and Dave Emmons, that there's some child that was trapped somewhere, kept apart.
I've heard that in the basement, but
yeah, kind of like a Quasimodo type.
Yeah, I've
scenario.
heard that, but my experience in the basement has not been. I have not picked up on that at all, and there hasn't been any history. There's no way to find any information on that, so that really can't be verified. So
now, are you an empath and tune enough to where you know these kind of things?
Well, they're like I said, I see them and I hear them. So, and I will get impressions about places before I go, or when I'm in there, I will do that. You know? So, but like I said, the Walker Ames we've spent the night there. We've had quite a few experiences there. We've got some great evidence from it. So. And
this isn't a place you can just walk into.
No.
Yeah, it's closed to the public.
Yeah,
right?
You can go on Pete Orbea. You can go on his Port Gamble Paranormal. That's it. And you can go on a ghost tour, which is excellent. He'll take you around, and towards the end, you actually get to go into the Walker Ames and do an mini investigation. And you can actually rent it for a couple hours to do an investigation.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
With him there.
Yeah, he'll be there. Someone will be there. Yeah.
Historic.
Yeah.
Building.
Yeah.
And then they do a yearly conference.
They do a yearly conference. We just had the 10th year celebration.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah.
Okay.
You should check it out.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
I know. I just kind of moved to town about 6 or 7 months ago, so I'm new to all the cool stuff going on here. But that was one I definitely wanted to check out. Okay. And then they did that at the casino, did they? They did it at the casino
this year, which was kind of strange.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different vibe, different area.
Right. It kind of takes the mystique of like,
it does.
Oh, the building's right there.
Yeah.
There's a ghost.
Exactly.
You know, I can see it. Yeah.
We had some classes at Port Gamble, but most of them were at the casino.
Okay.
But all the investigations, of course, were at Port Gamble.
Yeah.
I think we investigated 4 or 5 buildings at least, 5 or 6. They have open. Yeah, there's quite a few. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a free shuttle that takes.
What's that, Darren?
They have a free shuttle that takes.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Darren Locke is in the audience, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know this man here, just real quick, this man here is an amazing musician, and you can see him every so often playing in the beautiful town of Silverton at the Guitar Cafe.
Sasquatcher.
And he is. Yes, he came with a Sasquatch shirt on. Now, okay, so since we do talk a little bit about Bigfoot here, you know, I'm of the mind that Sasquatch is somehow attached to the spirit realm just as much as it is to the physical realm. There's other critters out there, too, that are probably like that. When you're doing a ghost hunt, do you ever wander in anything that looks like a Bigfoot or acts like...
I never have, but I have had an experience of some type of cryptid that I cannot tell you what it was. We were at...
describe the investigation.
Well, we were at Wellington, which is it Snoqualmie? Snoqualmie. It's past Snoqualmie. Stevens Pass, excuse me. And it was the site of one of the biggest snow train accidents, killed a bunch of people. So we went down there to investigate. So we were there for a long time and collected all this evidence and went back to our campsite.
Right.
So everybody gets back in their tents, and I'm laying there, and all of a sudden I hear somebody running and breathing really heavily, and I'm going, what the heck? So I looked out my tent, and this guy So I can't explain it. This guy was being chased by this thing that was about maybe 12 feet tall, and it looked like a praying mantis almost. Yeah, yeah, I know. And I wasn't high. I wasn't doing drugs or drinking or nothing like that. So, yeah, and I wasn't asleep because I had just gotten back. And I remember looking at this going, and it was like up on its tail, you know, it was up on its tail and its arms were out. And I'm like, oh. And then I thought, oh, someone has to be dressed in a costume. But that's a big costume to be running in. I mean, that thing is, and you're thinking about how tall this is, you know, at least 12 feet. And I'm thinking, so I just went back into my tent and I closed my tent. I said, no, I'm not going out there. I don't know what that was. I really don't know. That's probably the strangest cryptid thing. That's the only time I've ever seen anything like that.
I have so many questions here. Wait, no. Okay, so
no, it's really strange.
Yeah, so you unzip your tent, you see this poor guy running for his life.
Yeah, he's
screaming.
Running. Well, he's not screaming, but he is running fast.
And he knows that this thing's after him.
Yeah.
That's why he's screaming.
Yeah, and he's running really fast.
And you don't know this person.
No.
Okay. And they're physical. This is not.
No, it's physical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was definitely real.
And you see a 12-foot tall insect.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Like a praying mantis kind of.
We got to know more details. 12-foot tall, green, yellow.
Green, and then it had. It was like it was leaning back on a tail.
Yeah, what do you mean by that? Like.
Well, it's like.
They have that.
There were the praying mantis head. It's got the small head and it's got the long arms. But it had a bunch of long arms coming off the torso, and then it was leaning back. When it was running, it was like the tail was dragging. I guess that's the way I can describe it. Yeah.
And they got little wings too. I mean,
I didn't see any wings. I just saw all these whatever you want, hands, digits. I don't know what.
Like you would picture a praying mantis, like the little chopstick look?
Yeah, but they had a bunch of those. They had a bunch of those all the way down the side.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, what the hell is that? I mean, I don't know what it was.
Well, so you zip up the tent, and what happened? You just hear the screams of terror?
This guy kept running, and I just was like, not looking at. And I'm thinking, didn't anybody else like?
Yeah, what was everybody else doing?
I don't know.
What's happened with the team here?
I don't know, but it was.
Why is it Mary's problem?
Yeah, it's Mary's problem.
He'll get a can of Raid for crying out loud. What the hell?
Yeah, it was really strange, but it was weird. I did ask people, hey, did you notice anything weird last night? You know, anything strange? Did you hear anything? Oh no, I didn't see anything. It's like it was me. I don't know.
So you wake up the next day, and what was your response to like looking for? I don't know, praying mantis traps.
Well, I did. I went out and started looking around, but I couldn't see anything. I mean, you know, I think that people had. I couldn't see anything. I mean, I just kind of walked all over.
This guy could be dead.
He could have been dead. I don't know. I don't know. But all I knew, I mean, I was a chicken, man. It really freaked me out. I just thought, okay, my first thought was, I'm not really seeing this. This is not. It has to be someone in a costume chasing somebody.
Well, could it have been?
I don't think so, because this thing was big. And
Too big.
Run in a costume like that, this thing, they were running. I mean, it was moving pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those unexplained.
And was that your one and only time with an alien or cryptid?
Yeah, that's the only time it's ever happened.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, now you had the opportunity to document this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though it was incredibly brief, this happens too when we're out on our little investigation. I feel like such a asshole when I say we're on an investigation, like we're part of the Scooby team or something like that. When we're out there being nerds looking for trouble. Yeah. And, you know, when trouble comes, you're like, oh, well, I'm going to get my camera out. I'm going to get my recorder. Right. Surely you run into the problem, too, of, like, being taken away with the moment. Like, oh, my gosh, I didn't have my... Exactly.
That's exactly what I thought, too. I said I didn't get my camera.
Yeah. Well, how do you guys get over that? Like, are you to the point now where you're so quick and ninja-like with your Scooby gear that you can flip it on immediately?
Sometimes. Yeah. Not all the time. It just depends on the situation. Now, Brian and I were at the Hastings House here in Port Townsend. We're doing an investigation, and we were doing a ghost box session. And if we play it later, you'll hear it. Yeah. But
we will play it later.
There were the fire alarm kept going off, and one of the psychics got the name Pete. And so I said, Pete, are you going to fix that? And you hear, be there for that. You hear, clear as a bell. And then Brian and I were walking down the hall, and the alarm goes off again. I said, Pete, come on, fix it. And you hear him go. I mean, we both hear it. Excuse me. Yeah. He thought it was me, and I thought it was him. We hear it, shut up. And then you hear this laughing afterwards. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff, we had our recorders with us.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing.
Is that one of the protocols? Is there like a tech guy's like, okay, I'm making sure all the cameras are charged and everything.
We had a tech manager.
Who's the tech person?
Well, our tech person is on leave right now.
Oh, okay. You said that earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's on leave right now.
All right.
So we
but
have to
there's
get a new
always
tech
someone
person.
assigned to say.
Usually there's someone at the
Mhm.
at the desk, writing down any anomalies, or if we call in, we'll say, at such and such time I saw this. We usually will do that. But we will put in cameras in the rooms. We will put in recorders, and a lot of times, most of the time, I will carry a recorder and put it down in the room that we're in. So.
Do you have any suggestions for what kind of digital recorder besides that one that's like the $3,000?
Yeah, really, I have a Sony and an Olympus, and they weren't that expensive, so it's just a basic one. But you want something that will, and I think most of them do now, that will plug into your computer so you can download all your data.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you're not getting any more success out of a digital recorder than an analog.
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Yeah. I have an H2, which is basically a microphone, and that thing is great, but it's almost too good because it picks up everything.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the downfall of that. But it was a couple $100 when I got it a couple of years ago, so I don't know how much they are now.
Right.
But you don't have to spend a ton of money on equipment.
No, and we noticed too that just a simple, when we were doing an investigation down here in Cottage Grove, it was literally just the simple act of putting out there and setting your intention that, hey, you can turn this off, whatever you want. It seemed to, play a part in that. So,
it does.
Yeah.
It does. Like, we'll go into a place, well, I will, and a lot of our teammates will all go in and say, hi, I always say hello, I always introduce myself, we're here to visit, we're here to talk to you,
That's probably is that the most important tool that you can bring, is your own
absolutely.
gray matter?
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe that. I really do. Your intention is everything. Because I really believe that, with the survival of consciousness, you go. When you go, you take yourself with you, all your quirks, everything. And I wouldn't want someone to come into my house and start yelling at me, what are you doing here, that kind of provoking, that type of thing. So I think you get a better response.
Yeah, provoking, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, no, that's stupid, I think,
Now, but they seem to be getting results.
I don't know, are they?
I don't know, are they?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't.
You don't think provoking gets results?
Well, it can. You're going to get someone pissed off. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that can really go downhill.
But with a finite, I'm not defending it, but I'm just saying, let's say we wanted to get evidence tonight. We got a 3-hour window. Well, we got lucky with your little camera back there, but, people, it sounds like I'm defending them. I'm not. I'm just saying, I can see a production crew saying, okay, let's piss them off because we got 2 days to get some footage here. You think that's where it comes from? Is desperateness? Are they desperate to get the shot, or are they just kind of give up?
That's very possible, but they want results, and I think that's why they do it. Now, I was on Scott and I, our case manager, we were on My Ghost Story, and we did Turn of Joy, which was fun. But it was interesting because we were wanting to represent the facts as we found them, and we wanted to represent the history of the ship. And they kept asking questions like, "Well, weren't you shocked? Weren't you scared?" It's like, no. Well, can you say that? No. It was weird, but that's kind of what they want.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's always with the same, if the newscast is talking about it, it's always with the same spooky music as they're talking about the Turner.
Yeah, that gets really old. It really does.
Have you ever toyed with walking away from this for a period of time? Did you ever go into like a retirement from this, just kind of fed up from the things that we've talked about already, or just burnout and period?
Yeah.
There's burnout in everything.
Oh,
Did you ever get burned out?
Oh, yeah. I took like 3 months off one time.
Yeah.
I said, I'm taking a break, and it was good. I'm glad I did because I came back refreshed. And part of the case manager's job is not only doing fielding clients, but you go out and get investigations. You get involved in the community. We've done like We've done classes at the libraries. We've done stuff for the food bank. So you're kind of involved in doing all that. So it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It really is. On top of your regular job, it's a lot of work. It really is. But you're right. You do get burned out. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I did that. It was really good for me.
Yeah. And there's no hard feelings about
Oh
that.
no,
Yeah.
no. Everybody on our team is pretty good about that.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. How about anybody in the group here? Has anybody got burnout before from this and taken a hiatus at all? You guys are pretty focused in on your work, I can tell. All right. Nobody there.
It's probably just on and off.
Darren?
Yeah.
You got,
Just on and off, and then when you
What-
need a break, there's plenty of other people.
right.
that-
I guess what I'm getting at is there's some people that walk away from the paranormal community and they don't want to talk about it ever again.
Yeah.
And you can't even access them.
Yeah.
And it's not a hiatus, it's a long
They're
hiatus.
done. Yeah,
they're
long
done.
hiatus. Yeah, they're done.
They're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
So has that ever happened on your team where just like it either got too intense
Mhm.
or their spouse didn't like it
Yeah.
or is
I
that,
think the few people that there are there's like 2 team members who left and didn't really want anything to do with it. One was, I think that was just too much of a time commitment for him.
Mhm.
I think that was the biggest thing. And the other, it was a husband and wife that were on team. I'm not talking about you guys, just so you know. That were having difficulties. Let's just say they were having marital
Yeah, sure.
difficulties, making things difficult on the
Mhm.
team, and they left for that reason. But not.
Mhm.
But they don't want anything to do with it anymore. Again, they're done.
Done.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And does it conflict with anybody's religious worldview and had them walk away? Have you ever seen that where they've
No, not on our team.
No.
No, we've got a couple. We've got like two people. Well, one person on the team that's actually a Christian, but they're pretty obviously open-minded.
right?
You know, otherwise they wouldn't be there. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have your ops folder there. We have some sounds that we can play too.
That sounds good.
You have a zip file full of stuff that I want to get to.
Okay.
I know I'm going to be the guy that has to go down there and do this at the same time as speak. Let's do a little 5-minute break here.
Okay.
I will get the sounds loaded.
Okay.
Don't leave anywhere here. It's what time is it? It's 7:53. Why don't we meet back here by 7:58, 5 minutes from now, and we'll get the sounds loaded here. And Mary, you're going to help me narrate what's going on here. So we'll be right back here in 5 minutes. All right, so while we do this part here, I won't have a mic, so you're going to do most of the narrating here because we want to catch this on audio, so we'll keep it that way. All right. Okay, Mary, you grab the mic here and tell me about image number 1 here, and if I need to make it bigger for you, I can do that.
Okay. So I'm a real avid afterlife believer and communicator. So I believe that you can get messages from loved ones either through audio, visual, music, that type of thing. I don't know if you can see that very well, but that is like a heart shape in the sky. I don't know. Can you guys see that, or is it blocked off? Or?
Okay, so you're talking about right in this area and right in this area?
Right off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was interesting because, my husband passed away about 13 years ago, and I do get communications from him, and I had been thinking pretty heavily about him. And I looked up. I was laying in my hammock, and I looked up, and that's what I saw. So I thought that was pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to see.
It's hard to see, yeah.
On this one here, I could turn that light down, but then everyone would be drinking in the dark.
Yeah.
Okay, you want me to go to the next
Yeah,
one?
go to the next one.
Okay. Let's go to this one here.
This is my favorite one. Now, my mom had passed away, and I had just gotten back from the service. And all of a sudden, I just felt my mother just really strongly. And something said, look up. And I looked up, and I took this photo with my phone at the parking lot where I work. So it looks like an angel to me. So I'm thinking, gosh, I got a great communication from my mom.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's way more impressive on my computer screen than that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
That is an incredible shot. Okay, and then this
Oh,
one here.
Oh, this is my favorite one. Okay, so this photo is it was the first wedding anniversary after Doug had passed, and my friend and I were down at the Whole River, and I kept pleading with my husband, please send me a sign, please, I know you're here. And I was walking along the water, and all of a sudden I looked down, and that is a rock underwater with just the perfect heart exposed. So that's a rock. So I feel like that was another message from my husband. Yeah.
Those are perfect.
Okay. Those are pretty cool. Yeah.
Now let's open up this one here. Let's see, Ernest.
Oh yeah.
Sinkowski?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just briefly, Ernest, he was a professor of physics. Oh, he's a little man too. There he goes.
He's a little pixelated.
He just briefly on the history of instrumental transcommunication, which is the use of TVs, not audio, but TVs, any type of radio, that type of thing, to communicate with those on the other side. So he's considered the father of ITC. This man actually won an honorary Nobel Peace Prize for his work in instrumental transcommunication in Sweden. So yeah.
Okay.
So he's the man.
Let's go to some EVPs here.
So let me explain this to you. North American Station is a contact group that I've been working with. When I say contact group, I'm talking about contact group on the other side, so in the afterlife. And I was introduced to this group through the Afterlife Research and Education Institute with Craig Hogan. And they've been doing all kind of work, encouraging people and teaching people how to make contact with the other side, specifically your loved ones. So some of these are from the North American Station. Now, technically, they say that some of the contact people on the other side is Tesla, Steve Jobs, and is one of them. John Lennon, which I really haven't gotten much on, which I'm really bummed because I'm a big John Lennon fan. Yeah, and a lot of these are through our family members. So let's see what we got.
Okay, now this one says, Dad is happy.
Okay, let's see if we can hear that.
Okay.
Are you happy? I heard yeah.
So what you'll hear is, this is called the EVP Maker, and what it is you play this as you record your session, and the EVP Maker just takes a bunch of words and slices them up into different letters or different, so you can't really understand what they're saying. So the theory is they use that to speak through it.
Let's play that again.
So you're going to hear happy, yeah. I don't know if you'll be able to hear.
Kind of point in the air when you you hear it.
Are you happy?
Happy?
Yeah.
Happy? Yeah. So it's like one right after the
other.
other.
One more time.
Okay.
Are you happy? I heard yeah.
I mean, if you've never done this, it really takes a while to get used to. It was really hard to get used to, but.
Okay, let's play that again.
Okay, here, this is really interesting. This was at the Hastings house. We had this is an EVP. We had a recorder downstairs. Eulalie is the name of my dog who has passed away, and she was on our team. She was an investigator on our team. So this recorder is down in the bottom of the Hastings house, and you're going to hear, like, I don't know if it's somebody walking, but you're going to hear someone go, Eulalie, and then you hear a little kid at the end.
Okay, let's play that again.
I can't tell what they're saying.
So that voice right here is the EVP?
And the first part where it says, Eulalie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's nobody down there. There's nobody down there, yeah.
I want to hear that again.
So you hear Eulalie, and then I can't make out the end, but it made me feel really good knowing my Eulalie's still alive.
Yeah. So, all right, I'll come back to the microphone. Did you guys hear those?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Has anybody caught an EVP themselves that's not part of the ops group here before? Raise your hand if you've ever caught an EVP. You have? Yeah. Well, you're a pro. You're supposed to. What about anybody in the back? Nobody's ever caught one of these before. Well, sometimes you catch them and you don't even know, right? I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes you can get an EVP and you're not a ghost hunter. It's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
they can turn up on video. They can
Right.
turn up not just audio, right?
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting because back, I say in the 50s, Swedenborg was kind of the father of EVP. He had gone out to record birdsong.
Mm-hmm.
And so he came back in and he was listening to it, and he actually heard his mother talking to him and using his nickname, his childhood nickname. So that started him on, of course, the path of recording EVPs, and he ended up with like thousands and thousands of EVPs. So he's kind of like a pioneer in that.
Wow.
He's long gone now, but yeah, that's exactly what you're talking about.
Now, these are all in English, too,
Mhm.
right? Have you ever caught an EVP that is of a
Oh, yeah.
different language?
Oh yeah, we've
Uh-huh.
I've caught some in Spanish. I speak Spanish, so that's not an issue.
Mhm.
Here we caught one in German. We're walking down the hall, and we happened to know someone that spoke German, and we sent it to them. And what they were saying was, "Be not afraid."
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then when we were at Pantages Theater in Tacoma, we caught some Italian. Yeah.
Just a female or male voice?
A male voice talking about it was going mi ami, which means
Yeah.
mi amor, mi ami,
Uh-huh.
my love, that type of
My
thing.
love.
Yeah. And then at Port Gamble, in what used to be the doctor's clinic, it's a business now. We caught something. I swear to God, it sounds like the guy, the Muppet guy, the Swedish Muppet guy, the cook. We haven't
Yeah.
been able to get a translation on that, but it's definitely. I even reversed the file trying to figure it out. I couldn't reverse it. I mean, I reversed it, but it's still not a language that we can figure out. So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he sounds like the Muppet guy. He really does. So.
Okay, what about using Ouija boards? Is that something that you guys ever do to contact
No.
a session?
No, we don't use it.
No.
we just not.
What about people that have Ouija boards? Do they have more incidences and you have to come in and kind of clean up the mess?
No, we haven't had that experience. We've had, I mean, the people that have had Ouija boards that I've known of, clients, usually will get rid of them because they're scared. It scares them. And but we've never had anybody open a portal, so to speak, which you kind of do when we use this. Even the ghost box, when you use the ghost box, you will open a portal, I think, to communication with something. You know.
Have you seen a portal?
No.
No.
I've never seen one physically.
Right.
No, never have. I'd like to.
But you believe they exist?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Coming out of a portal.
Yeah, absolutely. I do
Mhm.
believe that. Yeah, maybe because we're all energy, you know.
Mhm.
So, and you know, you can't destroy energy. So.
What
can't be
about
created or
these
destroyed.
balls of light? Have you seen these balls of light?
We've I've seen a few things that
Mhm.
I mean, of course, a lot of orbs are dust.
We may have something here.
Well, that's
right?
what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, they were saying that they saw something right here. Both these guys saw it at the same time.
Yeah.
But we
Just a quick little flash of white. Uh-huh.
Was it round or?
Just light.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think is up with that? Do you think that there's something to those being involved with ghostly activity?
Yeah,
or
I think
what's
it's-
the relationship?
I think it's energy. I think
Mhm.
it's like an attempt at a manifestation of energy of a form.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think it is. You know,
Yeah.
because I think that you know we're made of energy.
And some people say they can see faces and shapes.
I've seen
Inside
pictures
that?
of that, yeah.
Yeah.
And some of them are you can't explain, but some of them
Uh-huh.
are you're like you're just wanting to see that, or
Yeah.
was it called pareidolia? Pareidolia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pareidolia, yeah.
Yeah. Do you do anything like scrying or working on your own to contact things when you are just being Mary at home?
I'll do a lot of ghost box stuff at home. I
Just
do.
you.
Yeah, just me. Yeah.
Doesn't creep you out.
No. I've
You're
never-
used to it.
Yeah, I've never had any trouble. I've been doing the ghost box now for 11 years, and I have contacts on the other side that I work with who help me with the sessions. One of them is Bill. He's been around. He's a spirit. He's been around forever, but he kind of monitors the session.
Okay.
And you know if there's any jerks that come through because we've got the F-bomb come through. I mean,
You get
Yeah.
dirty.
and
Okay.
I've been called bitch or whatever you know. I've been called, and usually I'll ask him to get those people to remove those spirits.
Bill.
Yeah, his name is Bill.
Okay.
He's my I call him my technician and my guide. That's who I work
And
with.
what do you know about Bill besides the fact that Bill comes through and tells you his name?
I don't know anything about him.
No, you
No.
don't feel like it's a past
I don't think it
relative
is. No,
or
I don't
a
think so.
past version of you or
No,
nothing like
I don't
that?
think so. No, I don't get that feeling at all. All I know is that he's kind of the guardian of the sessions. Sometimes he does not come through, which I kind of can understand that, you know.
Does Bill have the same voice every
Yeah,
time?
same voice every time.
Mhm.
And he usually says the same thing. He'll usually say, "What's up?" You know.
Right off the bat, what's
Yeah,
up?
what's up? Yeah.
Okay, so that's when you know.
Yeah, and it's always the same voice. You know. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else comes through? And what's their job?
Well, I've had another tech. His name is David, but he hardly comes through at all. I mean, he on occasion will come through, but it's mostly Bill. And you know, when I do a session, I always call in for protection. You know, make sure that I'm protected by my guides because I believe that you have people that on the other side that are there for you.
Mhm.
So I always ask them to come in and protect me and whoever's involved in the session.
Mhm.
You know, make sure that the session is guided and doesn't deteriorate. I really haven't, like, the worst thing that's happened, I think, is mostly just the foul language.
Right.
Yeah. Or there'll be a few times where we'll get, I'm going to kill you, that kind of stuff, but nothing ever comes of it, so.
Wow. So the protection, the guides, I hear a lot about that. People have different versions of what their
Mhm.
guides look like.
Right.
Some are angelic.
Right.
I even talked to a group of psychics down in Cottage Grove. They said their guides were more canine-like Anubis.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they can take any.
I think they can take any
Yeah.
form, yeah. I do believe that. Well, you know, and some people think they're extraterrestrials. And what the whole ghost box thing started with Frank Sumption. He really started making the ghost box for extraterrestrial communication. It wasn't for talking to the dead. But it evolved into
This
that.
is the Frank's box.
Frank's box,
Okay.
yeah.
It all started with Frank. What's his name?
Frank Sumption?
And he's trying to reach ETs.
Yeah, he was trying to reach ETs, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was his thing.
Uh-huh.
And he felt that he had contacted ETs, you know, through the years. He's passed now, but that was his focus, was extraterrestrials.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But you've had no experience with ETs, aside from the 12-foot tall praying mantis.
I've seen UFOs. I mean, I've
Uh-huh.
seen them. I've seen what I believe are UFOs. We went to ECETI and we saw all these light anomalies coming off Mount Adams, but
Light anomalies coming out of it or on it?
I think they were coming out of the mountain.
Okay.
I mean, we had your night vision goggles,
Uh-huh.
too, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing I remembered about Bigfoot. Remember you had asked me a question about that? When we went to ECETI,
Yeah.
David McKenna and I went to ECETI, and we got there, and it's dark, okay?
Right,
And it's
right,
cold. It's November. And so we get there, and David's out putting the code in for
The
you know,
gate.
the gate,
Yeah.
and you hear this like that. And it was like, what the hell was that? We think it was Sasquatch.
Really?
Well, I mean, there are Sasquatch sightings there.
Yeah.
So.
In the swamp and over by the horses, I think is where they say the hot spot
Yeah,
is.
yeah. But it was almost like someone was letting us know, hey, we're here. You know.
I know that when we stayed there, we kind of got rained out, and there was a lot of problems with the cattle all night long. Like it sounded like the cattle were getting killed,
Oh.
and it was just a horrific sound of cattle screaming. But
Oh.
we
that's
also
wild.
heard squatchy sounds
Yeah.
over in the field. We all acknowledged it. I'd never seen them there, but so when you're at ECETI Ranch. Did you debunk anything to say, well, that was probably much ado about nothing, or was it so magical that you walked away with a believer of all the legends of ECETI?
Well, I think
Because it's pretty over the top.
it is over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I believe that there's Sasquatch out there. I do believe
Yeah.
that. I think there is some UFO activity there. I really do
Mhm.
believe that. I think there were a lot of people going, oh, it's powering up. It's this. And it was like, it's an airplane, people. You know,
Right,
so
a satellite turning.
Yeah, satellite, that type of thing. So those are the biggest things. I think mostly the UFO stuff. But people talk about fairy energy and all this stuff. I just don't pick up on any of that. So,
No.
Yeah.
Most of your research, though, is confined inside houses.
Yeah, I did do some sessions out at ECETI, and I only got one EVP that told me to hurry up. So that was it. I didn't get anything
Yeah.
else. Yeah. So I found that kind of interesting because I would think I would get more than that,
Yeah.
but I didn't. So,
What about people that go into? I know one of the shows that we watch regularly involves two or three guys, and they go into abandoned houses.
mhm,
Now they're not just houses. Sometimes they go into abandoned anything,
yeah,
and they just walk in and start recording.
yeah,
Now the legality of that I'm not quite sure.
yeah,
If it's abandoned, it's abandoned. I don't know what
Right.
the rules are. If you're not armed or you're not breaking any laws, breaking in.
Mhm.
Have you guys ever taken liberties of investigating a place that you had a hunch about, like
yeah.
that place is empty?
No,
No.
never, ever, no,
No.
never done that. We did have an experience where we got permission from the owner to investigate the house and had the key, and they were gone. And when we get there, the house had been broken into.
Oh,
So we had to
really?
call the police, and the police are like, "Well, what are you guys doing here?" Fortunately, we had their number; we were able to call them, but we
Right.
verified it was okay. But they were looking at us like, "Well, why are you guys all dressed in black t-shirts? What's all this equipment?" You know, I was like, "Well, we're paranormal investigators,
Oh, right,
and we
right.
have permission." It was funny, and then a couple of like, "Oh, well, I had this happen to me one
Oh,
time."
yeah.
So
The
that was-
stories start.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
But no, we've never gone into a place that without permission.
Uh-huh.
It's just not worth it.
Have you ever contacted anybody of, any merit or fame? Has, Elvis Presley come through in an EVP session? Have you guys ever tried to work
No, no.
a famous person? No.
The only one I've ever done was to the North American station. For I was trying to get it's supposedly supposed to be John Lennon. I don't know if it is or not. And I did finally get one EVP where they responded yes, and then right after they said yes, they said Yoko.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I thought was pretty
Uh-huh.
interesting. I thought, wow, well, maybe it is John Lennon. I don't know, but no, I've never done the whole celebrity thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Not curious about it. Okay. Well, you have videos as well that you want to show us. So why don't now I want to go into your file here, and I guess I want to make sure they don't take forever to load.
Yeah.
But are most of the videos you have, clips of apparitions or objects
Well,
moving?
most of these are from Klaus Schreiber, who was basically he's the one that started the video loop feedback method.
Okay.
And
Explain what that is.
Well, what it is you take a video camera and you point it at a TV, and you have to plug it in, of course, with the newer with the new TVs, HDMI cables, that type of stuff.
Right.
And then once you've focused it, you take it and then you focus it in really tight to the picture.
Okay.
And the theory is faces, scenery will come through. And Klaus Schreiber, of course, he's passed as well, but he was doing this back in the 60s and early 60s. And I tried to do it. I only got one time a couple of, and it's not on here unfortunately, but a couple of men with hats. So that's all I ever got.
A couple of men with hats.
With hats, yeah, the outline
Like-
of men hats. Were
Like
different.
tall hats? Like
Some of them were tall, some of them
Yeah.
were broad,
Yeah.
But all these are from Klaus Schreiber. I just wanted to show what kind of work.
Okay, so these are not your
These
videos.
are not mine, no.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't.
But
have
you guys probably do have a bunch of stuff, though. I would imagine.
Well, we do have quite a few videos. Not a ton, but we have a few.
Yeah.
So,
Where do you keep your?
it's
Do you have
all-
a website
it's
page?
it's kept on the forum, and
Uh-huh.
it's under lock and key, but we do post stuff on the forum to. for
Oh, why is
people
it? Why is it in lock and key?
Well, you have to. Well, we just don't want anybody getting into our site and messing around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you hold a lot of stuff away from the public for a certain reason?
Sometimes, yeah, because sometimes people don't want they don't want to be
Right. You're trying
Yeah.
to keep your
the
clients
privacy.
safe.
Yeah.
But
And
what about the specifics of the phenomena? I mean, you have your own agenda
Mhm.
as well to
Mhm.
try to say, I want to make this normal to
Yeah.
a public that's skeptical.
Yeah. Well, we'll put. So now we do have some stuff out on our
Yeah.
website. Yeah. But there's a lot, so we don't put
Yeah.
a lot out on there.
But there must be footage that you die to put up, but the client is like, no.
Yeah. We do have.
Yeah.
We do have a few of those. It's really hard to get good video evidence. It really
Right.
is. And we do have some decent photographs. Of course, I don't have any of these on here, but
Right.
But it's hard. It's the hardest thing to get.
A full body
Apparition.
Ghostbuster
Yeah.
apparition.
Yeah, it's really difficult.
Yeah.
And I really get mad because there's people that are just, oh, I'll just take a picture with my phone, and then they get this phenomenal photo that
Right.
you can't debunk. It's like,
Yeah.
it drives me nuts. So.
And most of the time, are these elements transparent, or are they solid figures? Or
They can be either. Some
Yeah.
of them are, like one was you could really see this was at the Turner Joy down
Uh-huh.
in the, what we call the refrigerator where they put bodies. And
Right.
and it's this outline and it's a bright light, and it's an outline of a fairly large man. You can see the head and the shoulders.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But what was interesting was Scott was he has a full spectrum camera, and he was taking photos, and he heard someone whisper in his ear, like that, and you see him jump on video, and he turned around and took the photo, and that's what he got.
Now, full spectrum camera is different than a night vision camera that's seeing in that pink quality.
Yeah.
Do we have one of those here today?
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a full spectrum camera with us today, do
I
we?
have a picture of a possible apparition on my phone that I took with my other camera.
Okay,
that's a good
Darren has
picture.
all the
Yeah.
toys, but you
Yeah.
didn't bring your toys.
I have an
Oh, it's on his phone.
picture of
Yeah.
myself.
Maybe you can show that to
Yeah.
folks later. That'd be cool.
Okay, yeah. Darren's got a picture here.
Yeah.
So what all did we bring here? We have your SLS camera, which is your Kinect.
Right.
We have dictaphones and digital recorders. What else?
We've got a ghost box, PSP7.
Where's that at? Can we? Ooh, don't throw it, man. That's a beautiful
That's
piece of
it.
equipment.
SP7, yeah.
Can you hand that to Mary? Explain what you do with that.
Well, you turn it on.
Okay, can we turn it on and you explain?
Yeah, let's see. Do you have batteries in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna turn this on here. It's got a little antenna.
It's got a little antenna, so you can hear this
Okay, put
squeaking
it up
sound.
next to the mic and talk.
You can hear the squeaking sound.
Yeah.
So what you're going to do is you can sweep forward or backward, AM or FM. So right now, if you can hear this, we're sweeping forward.
Here, let me hold it for you while you talk. I'm gonna put it up here next to my mic.
So what you can hear right now is we're sweeping forward on the ghost box, and the ghost box theory is you actually hack or cut the sweep wire, so it runs continuously, and the idea it actually will run like every 0.10. It sweeps like 0.10 to 0.20 seconds. And the theory is that the spirits will use the white noise or the snippets from the radio for communication. So
to debunk this though, is there any way to say that this thing screws up on what you just said and puts a whole sentence together because it's the nature of maybe not scanning quick enough, or?
Yeah, and the thing about the PSP7 is you can adjust the rate. You can adjust it slower or faster, or AM or FM. The FM is a little noisier. You'll get a lot more radio noise, I think, but the AM is, I think, a little better. I think it's everybody's preference.
Okay.
But the biggest thing, and I was talking to Randy about that earlier, is validation. You know, if you ask a question and you get a direct answer.
Right.
You know.
Like Toby.
Yeah.
Toby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or a lot of times we'll do what color am I holding in my hand, and we'll, like for instance something green, and you'll hear green. You know?
Okay, so you go right into testing it out to see if this
sometimes we'll do validation questions. But like for instance the thing with Pete at Hastings' house.
Right.
It's so clear. Be here for that. You know, are you going to fix that?
Right.
I'll be here for that. You know.
Now, what is this on the piano? I've been watching that thing. It looks like the little box there on the piano.
That is the millimeter.
Okay, now I've seen these before. It's got a little yellow Lego doohickey and a wire. What does that do?
What this does is it measures temperature and electromagnetic fields.
So it's doing two jobs.
It's doing two jobs.
Okay.
Yeah. So the theory is that, well, first of all, you use it to go around the room to see where the high electromagnetic fields are, and we document that.
Yeah.
And then the theory is that if there's spirits around, this will spike the number. You know, the numbers will go way up. And it's nice to have, you know, we do baseline readings with this, and we also get temperature recordings. So, for instance, we were in a room, it was 85 degrees, and all of a sudden someone says, yeah, I'm feeling really cold in this corner. When you knew earlier that area was 85 degrees, you can go back, maybe it's down to 65, who knows, you know, but it's kind of a tool, basically.
Wow. So when we had the SLS camera going here, we should have turned this on to see if there was
Yeah.
a temperature differential.
Temperature
Uh-huh.
or a spike. Now, these you have to be careful with because they will, I mean, if you have it near a cell phone, they'll spike. If you have it near a certain high.
Stick my cell phone next to it. Let's see what it does. Is it going up? Will it beep?
Yeah, 3.6 from 0.
Okay.
So, yeah, so
Okay.
it'll go up. So, and the theory is EMF too. Like if you're in a bedroom. We went to this one house where they had like a big fish tank and all these other things in their bedroom right next to their bed. So the EMF was really high. It spiked really high, and EMF can cause people to have like hallucinations, headaches.
Yeah, but how severe hallucinations to the point where you would see a ghost? I mean, is that possible?
I really don't know. I don't know the
Okay.
answer to that. Yeah, I'm not
But
sure.
you've debunked cases where EMF spikes are high due to engineering.
Well, especially in that particular area.
Yeah.
If the majority of the experiences are in that area, yeah, it's kind of a like, and we're not getting any evidence, so that might be as well. That would be another thing for us to go. Well, this probably is not paranormal.
Right. So what other things can EMF cause? It can cause some kind of hallucination. Can it
Yeah,
cause
audio, visual hallucinations. It can
nausea.
cause nausea, headache.
Okay.
Yeah, sense of not not feeling well, like something's
Right.
wrong, that type of thing. Yeah.
Now, have you ever been confused between paranormal versus EMF and found out later that you were subjected to something more rational and fooled by it?
I never have. No.
No.
Mm-mm.
You know the difference.
Yeah, I try to be really careful.
Yeah.
I try to be really careful about that.
Yeah.
But I've never had that experience. So, yeah.
Now, this looks like the least expensive
Yeah.
out of these two. Is that the case? I'm going to put the water just in case that's a $300 system. But
I'm not sure how much these are.
what are those retail for?
I think this one, I'm going to say 100 plus, I think.
100, yeah.
The PSP7 can run $60 to $80, I think. Yeah.
I mean, this can be a spendy habit,
It's
right?
really spendy. Yeah. I have like 6 ghost bucks, so yeah.
Okay.
And my last one was like $300.
Yeah, and the app that we're going to play here in a bit, it was, I think, $9.99. And, that's pretty incredibly cheap compared to what you guys paid for these here. But I don't know how successful we'll be with that. But, this can, how much, well, I don't want to pry too much, but how much have you invested?
Oh, my God. I would say...
Tell us. Mortgage-wise?
Yeah, probably a couple $1,000.
Okay, well, that's not too bad.
Over the years.
Yeah.
So now,
I mean, you can spend that on one system.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But believe me, I've been tempted, but I try not to go too hog wild.
Yeah.
So,
what's the holy grail of places for you to go that you haven't been to that you want to investigate?
Well, we're actually going to be going there this March.
Ooh.
Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's in Pennsylvania.
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's going to be. We're actually McKenna and David and I and their daughter Jenna. We're going on a paranormal vacation, so we're going to go to Gettysburg and.
Oh my!
So we're going to be doing a lot of. Gettysburg's another place.
And so it's an East Coast kind of.
Yeah, it's East Coast.
Okay.
But Trans-Allegheny, I've always wanted to go there. So.
And now, will you have it all to your lonesome?
I'm not sure.
Not there, because they just are opening up after renovating.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're just opening up after renovation.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of activity there.
Mm-hmm.
The whole hospital thing, because I've worked in hospitals pretty much most of my career, so I can really relate to that. So it'll be interesting.
Well, so how haunted is a hospital?
Oh, really haunted. Really haunted. You think about all the deaths that happen there.
Yeah, it must be the most haunted place besides a graveyard.
I think it really is. Yeah, it really is. I've seen apparitions.
What have you seen?
When I used to be a nurse at Harborview, I had a lady who was terminal. She was getting close to the end, and I had gone into a room to give her some medication, and I went back out the room, and I was standing like right outside the room, and I forgot to do this. I went back in, and there's a man dressed in oddly, dressed in like old period clothes, like 1940s clothes,
right,
standing in the corner that I had not seen, and I didn't see him walk in. And I said, I said, hi, I'm Mary, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, who's that? And she whispered, that's my brother. I said, well, it's really nice that your brother's here. So I walked out the door, and I thought, I didn't see him walk in. So I got a little worried, so I walked back in, and she was dead. So I think he came to get her. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he came to get her. So.
Is this an everyday occurrence where you have an experience while you're at work?
Not
of some
every day.
kind?
Yeah, I had one.
I mean, not that significant,
Yeah.
but do you see things?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I had one night, it was really busy, and I had caught up with all my patients, and I walked by the minor operating room, and I saw a little boy laying there, blonde-haired boy, about 9 years old, and I could describe his clothes, the whole 9 yards. So I went to the nurse's station. I said, "Why don't you give me the chart to the kid in MOR1, and I'll go see him?" And they go, "What kid?" I said, "There's a kid, 9-year-old kid, blah, 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 blah." They said, "Mary, there's nobody in there." I said, "There's a kid laying on the bed in MOR1. So I went back in there. He's gone. There was nobody in there.
No.
I mean, I think it was a spirit. I'm pretty sure it was a spirit. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about the misnomer? Well, maybe it's not a misnomer. Maybe it's true. About there being a weight differential after someone dies.
21 grams. Yeah.
21 grams.
21 grams or 0.0496 pounds. That's yeah.
I mean, when somebody dies, you see the essence of that person has gone, and you see the shell there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That essence is 21
grams.
21
Yeah,
grams.
there's a doc. I can't remember when, but it was in Scotland, and that's the measurement they found that after people died.
Yeah.
21. They weighed 21 grams less than before.
Now, have you worked with people that had NDEs?
Yeah, I've had an NDE.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, we got all night.
So I was. Oh, this is great. I was 5 miles out in the Olympic Peninsula, and we had just set up camp, and I usually don't use bugs. Don't bother me, so I usually don't use bug spray. But there's big horse flies flying around. So they said, "Put the DEET on. Put the DEET on." So I said, "Fine, I'll put the DEET on." But within minutes, I knew something was wrong. I was starting to get really sick. My heart rate was I was skipping beats. I couldn't breathe, and I went to him. I said that I'm having anaphylaxis, and so I remember laying on the ground and not being able to breathe. It was horrible. And then there's a Native American legend where birds will come to take your soul away. So I'm laying there, and this hummingbird comes and lands in my hair.
Oh, my God.
So I thought, I'm in deep doo-doo here.
Yeah.
So I leave my body. I remember looking down. I see my friend doing CPR on me. And I remember kind of floating up, and I became part of everything. I mean, I felt like I was part of everything. I felt really at peace.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing certain things pass before me. I don't think it was a life review, but like things that meant a lot to me, like family members, my dogs, that type of stuff. And then all of a sudden, I was walking down a tunnel with a bunch of people. I didn't recognize anybody. I mean, but I wasn't scared at all. I mean, I was not frightened.
Wait, people walking in unison with you?
Well, yeah, just different.
Like an elevator style, or what do you mean?
Well, it was just like a bunch of people walking down a big hall. But,
with you?
Yeah,
towards somewhere.
Towards somewhere, but there was like this big bright light. It was that big tunnel light.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember walking up to somebody, and I don't know if it was a teacher, but I remember looking at them saying, and I don't remember seeing them, I just saw an outline. I remember saying, "This is a mistake. I have to go back. I'm not supposed to be here." And then the next thing I knew, bam, I was back in my body. So,
wow.
Yeah, that was pretty. The hike back was no fun, let me tell you. That was no fun.
Now, some people, I mean, I've interviewed one guy in particular, and he said that there was a sense of longing to go back. He didn't necessarily want to be.
Yeah.
Did you go through that?
No, because I just knew intuitively that it wasn't time. It was too soon. That it was a mistake that I was there, so I had to go back. It was like, I have to go back. I can't wait, which is, what I did. So, yeah, it was pretty amazing.
One of the theories that I want to see what you think of. Tell me to go pound sand if it doesn't sound good to you, but ghost being just as freaked out to see us as we are them.
Yeah.
Are we the ghosts sometime in some kind of weird time dilation where they're frightened by your presence? Have you ever wandered into something like that where the ghosts seem to be freaked out by you?
I've had that happen to me. Personally, I've had that happen to me where I walked into. This was down at Virginia City when I went down to get an investigation there.
From a bucket of blood.
Bucket of blood. Yeah, that's a weird place. But I walked into some business. I can't remember, and I see this woman standing in front of me, but she looks. And this is how I see spirits. It's like they look at a place, they're dressed different, or their energy field looks different. But they looked at me and they were really startled, like, "Who are you?" And of course, I'm doing the same thing. Who are you? Yeah,
right.
They're probably looking at me, going, "What kind of clothes do you have on?" Because obviously, yeah. So that was really. It was very quick though. It was like a couple of seconds. So
That's what William Becker brought up too when we brought him down to Cottage Grove. He taught a class at the bookstore next to the pub we did the live event at, and he brought up an interesting point. What you're hitting on right now is that dressing the period for what you're looking into,
Right.
and women kind of falling prey to being victims of more, I guess, aggressive ghost
yeah.
because you're not dressing the part for.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 1900s.
Yeah, I see. I can understand that.
Yeah.
We've also used like
More bonnets, ladies. That's what we
more
need.
bonnets and long dresses.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. No, but that's true. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that has.
Forget burning the bra. You need 2 bras
Yeah, 2
on.
bras.
Yeah.
And a corset.
Yeah.
But they, like with the Trader Joy, there have been a lot of women there who've been grabbed, their butts grabbed, and we had there was a pervert in the bathroom. I have to tell you, this is my favorite story. Yeah, he loves it.
Yeah.
It's so the pervert in the bathroom. All the women would go into the bathroom and felt like we were being watched. It's like so we're looking for holes in the wall. We couldn't find any cameras or anything. So we're thinking, I said, screw this. I'm going to find out what's going on. So I take my recorder in there.
Right.
I have to pee. Okay, so I have my recorder on, and I'm starting to pee, and all of a sudden you hear this man's voice go, "Yeah," and I caught it on audio, and I said to myself, there is a pervert.
There is
a pervert. So there is a pervert.
Oh my God.
When we went back the last time, we should have got him.
I haven't reviewed it.
Yeah, I
did
haven't
record
either.
going to the bathroom.
Okay, good. You may get a surprise. So I think when you're in those kind of environments, I think there's going to be more.
That is like
things
the
happening.
ultimate gig for a pervert is being a ghost.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to be a pervert, ghost is like the way to go.
I think so.
I mean, it was the premise of a Scott Baio movie, and nobody saw that but me. But yes, be a ghost if you're a pervert.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
very well. I believe it after that experience. Let me tell you.
Wow. Cool. All right. Well, I want to play a couple videos here
Okay.
since we have them,
Okay.
and
I hope
so
they're
you're
good.
going to narrate again.
Okay. All right.
Let's see what opens up here. Oh, let's see.
So this is really strange. These are cats in the afterlife. This is from his video loopback system. Oh,
Back here.
yeah, sorry, I had to pull that off YouTube because I couldn't find the other one. But yeah, so there are cats drinking milk in the afterlife. And this comes off his TV. This is all the work that he's done through the TV and the loopback method that he does.
Now, I'm confused. Now, why is this not an accident that came up on Klaus's TV? How do we know this is the afterlife?
Good question.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. Yeah. He's gotten pictures of his daughter from the afterlife, and he actually got Swedenborg on the day of his funeral on his TV set.
Let me see if I can enlarge this.
Yeah.
You're saying that this right here is evidence of the afterlife, cats drinking out of a dish?
Yeah, could
Okay.
be.
Okay.
Could, you
All
never
right.
know. I mean,
Well,
you never
no,
know.
I want to make sure we
Yeah.
understood one another
Yeah.
here. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. That's pretty incredible.
Now, if you go, there's a group in Seattle called Grupo Seattle, ITC Seattle, and they are doing phenomenal work. It'll blow your mind. You got to go on their website and check them out.
Okay. Now,
Oh, and that's Klaus.
that's Klaus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go. I hope that's one of the women. That one's really creepy. Yeah, that's creepy. Look at this woman
Oh,
smiling. Watch her smile. It's really, she looks like Farrah Fawcett, but I don't know if it's Farrah Fawcett.
Let's bring that up.
Yeah.
Big lips. Now this is more Klaus.
Yeah, this is all Klaus.
Okay.
Yeah. See the smile?
Oh,
She just
yeah.
smiles. Yeah.
Like a little bit of teeth action.
Yeah, it kind of creeps me out. I haven't had a lot of luck, but I'm gonna still work. I'm gonna work at it. See what I get. Just keep
His
going.
particular method.
Yeah, and people still use it. Like I said, the group in Seattle their work is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You'll have to go check out their website because
But
it's
you're
amazing.
just your brain, and your recorder
Mhm.
are what you usually use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you have to have. And we also were talking about that at the table. You have to have a real connection.
Yeah.
You have to have the intention and the connection with what you're doing.
Yeah.
I never go into a ghost box session without an idea what I'm going to do. What's the intention for the session?
Yeah.
Do I want to contact this person or,
And I want to come back to the cats for a second
Yeah,
here.
sure.
Okay. That was a tough one for me.
Mhm.
And it shouldn't be.
Mhm.
Like, the weird stuff that's happened in my own world is
Mhm.
pretty bonkers.
Yeah.
But still, I see stuff like that. I'm like, okay, now how crazy is life to the point where we're seeing cats drinking out of a saucer of milk and calling that supernatural?
Yeah.
I mean, because to everybody else, I mean, it's a pretty hard thing to sell.
Yeah.
I understand that strange things happen like that, but it's getting harder and harder for me to be an asshole when it comes to looking at things like this.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I do.
I can't
know
look
exactly.
at that and say, in my own life, I've got all this crazy stuff going on. People look at my story, I'm sure, and say, okay, come on.
Well, people do that with me too. Yeah. I know, totally understand what you're saying. But one of the things I always say is, known phenomena does not constitute the whole reality. And there you go. That's really the bottom line. I mean, just that I really believe that. You know.
Yeah.
I really believe that. So.
Yeah. What's the strangest thing that's happened to you? Yeah.
I have to think about that because I've had a lot of strange things. Well, I'm going to have to say the cryptid is the strangest thing that's ever happened.
Okay. That was one of the strangest stories. Yeah.
That is the strangest thing. I mean, I've seen spirits. I've heard them. I've had all these, prophetic dreams and things come to me. But that ranks number one weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How often does synchronicity play a part in all of this for you? Do you see a lot of synchronicity in your work where things just like match up unbelievable?
I do. I think I was talking to Aaron about that just a little while ago. I had an astrological reading, a chart done, and we were doing it over the Zoom meetings. And but let me preface this before I start that. When I had gone to ECETI, I had a reading by James Gillian. And James Gillian, what he does is he looks at past lives and clears out past lives and then gets you in touch with who one of your main guides are. And so he had told me, he says, you've been a healer in many of your lives, which I knew. And he said, you've been trained in the house of Mary, Mother Mary.
Okay.
Okay. And then he said...
was that because you have Catholic roots?
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
And he says, but your spirit guide is Mary Magdalene. And I thought, well, that's cool, so I kind of kept that with me. So
okay.
That's neat. But when this lady's doing my reading, my astrological chart, part of what she does is she looks at what spirit guides you could have, that type of stuff. And one of the things that showed up in my chart, one of the first things that showed up in my chart was Mary Magdalene. And she didn't know this. And then I have a photo of it, it's on my phone, of a Carillion photo that was done years ago. And when you look at the left side, you can see an outline, and it looks like Mother Mary holding a child. And this photo is probably 20 years old, 25 years old. So that's kind of synchronicity. Yeah.
Explain what Carillion photography is.
Well, it's just basically it takes photos of your auras.
Okay.
I'm not sure the actual science behind it, but I know that's what it does. So
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It takes a certain camera to pull this off?
Yeah, there's some type of camera. I really don't.
Okay. There's probably an app for it. I'll download it.
Yeah, probably. Nowadays there's an app for everything.
Carillion shot of me real quick here. Give me some sage on the rocks. Okay, well, what I want to do here is maybe we'll fast forward things up a little bit. And what I would hope that we could do is I'm going to upload this app here. Now, I will preface this that we talked earlier about portals. Now, it's possible there's already one here and we're not doing anything other than accessing it. But if you're not comfortable with the possibility that we're about to open up a portal by turning this thing on, now would be your chance to go grab a drink or go to QFC. And God bless you for coming. But would you be comfortable trying to interact with whatever's going to come through here? Okay. And then I don't know if your SLS, is it dead or is it working? Okay, let's see if we can get the little midget back. We can even play some mood music if he wants us to. So let's do that here. How's this camera working, by the way? Is that rolling? On my camera right here. Is that still filming?
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay, we're on there. So if the little guy comes back, maybe we can catch something with that. Let's turn this on here. Darren, can you turn on the power button on that Bluetooth pill-looking speaker there? There's a brown button. Yeah, turn that on. Okay.
Close that door.
I'm going to make sure it should power up. Okay. There we go. I'm going to go onto my Bluetooth, make sure that's on. Okay.
What
So,
app are you
Yeah.
I'm
I've
okay.
never
So
used
just so
it.
people know, I'm using an app that had 5-star reviews and that Steve Huff said was good, which is called the Necrophonic.
That's a terrible name. I'm sorry.
I know. I know.
I'm not going to say anything.
Well, yeah, and look how ridiculously goth it is here.
Yeah.
Whoever's watching, if anybody from necrophonic.com checks this out, we got to work on your Hot Topics font logo here because it's a little bit redundant.
Yeah.
We get it, you know. You don't need to throw in all the pentagrams.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's hit start. And is that door closer? Can we close this door too in the back, actually? Okay, I'm going to take my headphones off so I can hear this as well. All right, let's start it here. And
That's creepy.
okay, so now I have it on the echo mode.
Okay.
Just so people know what's going on. I'm going to stop it again. So I'm going to start it again, and we have some choices here. We can go through these ourselves.
Okay.
We're going to start with echo. We'll maybe do that for a couple minutes. Then we'll switch it out and go to reverb, and that won't give us the echo, but that will give us a drawn out sentence.
Oh, okay.
Because just like your little thing was doing, it was cutting through all the frequencies. This is giving us more opportunity to hear it. And then there's the white noise, which I haven't even done yet. So.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Let's let you lead a session here,
Okay.
and just show us how you usually do this.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
So, my intention is to speak to the spirits that are in this room. My name is Mary. What is your name? Hello?
She knows.
What does she know? Hi. I heard hi. Hello. What is your name? It's... If you guys hear anything, speak up, because I'm not used to using this echo.
All right, let's put it on reverb here. The echo I think is a little disturbing, so let's go
Hello,
to
that was loud. Hello? Would you like to speak to us? I heard no, a whispering no.
No, possible no.
Yeah. Why not? Can you at least say hello?
Well, that sounded like Spanish.
Yeah, it did.
Did you guys hear Spanish? Ora?
¿Habla español?
What, now, is this the dancing man here, the Spanish? See? Do you want us to play more music?
Please. It
Did
sounds
you hear
okay.
please?
Yeah.
Please? Okay. All right.
Will you come back and dance with us?
And now if we play music, will you dance with us? We can't disappoint him, can we?
No way.
All
Let's
right,
do
so
it.
you keep talking.
Okay.
I'll be the DJ,
All right.
senor.
So you really like to dance, huh?
And you're rolling over here? Okay.
True. It sounded like you said true. I don't know if that's what it was.
Let's get it going.
Do you like fast music?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is your name again? I haven't heard your name yet. I'm Mary.
I just heard nice to meet you.
It's a secret.
It's a secret? It's nice to meet you too.